Hey everybody, how's it going? I am using the Light Seers Tarot deck for this reading. We are starting off with the Nine of Wands. I'm also seeing Seven of Wands. Something that you're doing, it can be taking a lot of patience right now. You can be at that point where you can be like getting frustrated with that Nine of Wands where it's like, is it really worth it? Am I going to keep trying to do that? Should I keep putting my energy into this? Maybe you have to like recenter yourself around your initiative here. Like kind of just tune in and remind yourself about what this is for you. I get almost this feeling of like being tempted to cave, but that's not going to work out long term. But yeah, next to Six of Pentacles is the Devil. So this can be like signing on for something that we think is going to be a shortcut or like make this work, but we know that it's not really going to do that. But there can be a temptation. It's kind of like, yeah, Devil and Six of Pentacles is feeling like trying to take some sort of shortcut with something, but it feels like that's not really what's going to be good for this process. It's not going to be what's like efficient and effective for this process, but maybe you're getting to a point where you can feel a little bit resigned. This can even be kicking something too much into overdrive. It can be that too. I want to just take a minute to look at everything here. Okay. Nine of Wands is looking at Eight of Cups, but then Eight of Cups be looking at the Devil. I don't know. I feel like this is something that you're doing that you may actually want to stick with here. It's weird because it's like, do you want to stick with this? Do you want to not? But then like, why is the Eight of Cups going into the Devil then? Feels like that's a strange place for this to be going. Like, maybe there's, I think you're getting to a point where you're wanting to look at everything and see the big picture, to make sure that you're not connecting with something that may feel like the easier way of doing things, but then it can possibly have you, the word abdicate is coming through, maybe like abdicate your like power here in this scenario. Because with Nine of Pentacles, we feel like we're able to accomplish something. The Devil can be like, well, if you hand over that part of yourself, if you hand over your autonomy here, I can kind of like come up with something that may work short term for you, but it's not going to work long term for you. So there can be something about that, like needing to know the difference. Nine of Pentacles can feel difficult because we have to do something on our own and we have to be self-reliant, and the Devil is like, well, if you don't want to have to do it on your own and you don't want to have to be self-reliant and you don't want to like fully do this yourself, come over this way and we can like work something else out. But when the devil is involved, it's something that like we can sign on for and initially like feel okay with that, but then on the more long term, it's not going to cultivate what you're actually after, so it doesn't even get you where you're trying to go anyway. So there can be something about that. This feels like something that you've been involved with and being at a point where it's like, am I going to keep trying? Am I going to keep putting in the work? Am I going to keep like trying to really like make things happen here? With that Nine of Wands and with the Chariot, this is about really needing to tune in here and not be tempted to be swayed by something that's like not even going to cultivate what you want at the end of the day. It's something that, you know, the devil can always like provide an immediate sense of relief, but then you're kind of back to square one where it's like temporarily that made me feel better, but now I'm like stuck back here again, and it actually didn't solve anything, or it didn't accomplish what I'm really after wanting to accomplish here. Like, this wasn't really what I wanted. But it can be something where maybe you're getting tired, maybe you feel like you need a break, maybe you feel like you're kind of drained or like burnt out in some way, where the devil can come through and it can feel like a tempting way of getting things done. But I don't really see that be the case. This feels like you're involved with something right now. I think that the center focus of this is Six of Pentacles and Eight of Cups, which can mean that you can have a spiritual contract with some situation, okay? An energetic contract with some situation. Having Eight of Cups there is something that you may not feel really happy being involved in this anymore. So it's something that you're actively engaging in, but it can be something that it doesn't feel like a good use of your energy to be involved in this. But what that does mean is that it's going to push you into a space where you are going to have to be self-reliant and you're going to have to depend on yourself. But if you're having issues with like codependency, or you're having issues with attachment, this can be something big time that comes up where it's going to have to be dealt with, having the devil there. Because it can be wanting to take an out rather than having to deal with this. So it will be some way of avoiding being present to this situation, because when you're present to this situation, having Six of Pentacles and Eight of Cups, like, this is not working. Not like this. This is something that you could see as really not... is really not something that you would feel energetically connected with. And I don't know how to say this exactly. Like, I want to be very deliberate with the way that this is being spoken about. It's like the difference between something that you could be involved in, that you feel excited to be a part of that process, and that's what's wanted. You have something going on right now where you may not really feel excited to be part of that process, but you can still be doing it anyway. And having the devil here and having the Eight of Pentacles, this can be like, I already put energy into this, so maybe I should just keep doing it. It can be like an attachment to whatever this is, even though we don't really like it or we don't really feel happy within it anymore. And then the devil can be like, let's do things to avoid being present to that so I can remain within this and not have to do something about it. So having that Seven of Wands and having Nine of Pentacles can be checking in with yourself and asking yourself how you're utilizing your energy, and if this really feels like a good way of using your energy, and do you want to your energy expenditure to be keeping yourself somewhere that you don't belong, or helping you remove yourself from somewhere you don't belong? Which way do you want to go when it comes to using your energy? And Nine of Wands in the Chariot is going to be like, are you going to follow your heart with this? Are you going to follow through on the way that you really feel? Or are you going to do something that can kind of like cover this up and allow you to remain in a cycle that you don't really belong in anymore? And having Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck, this is connected with what you want. Like, are you trying to force yourself to want something that doesn't really resonate with you and trying to stay there because of the attachment to the familiarity of that? Or are you being really honest with yourself about what you want, opening yourself up to the possibilities and knowing that you're only going to feel right if you're like truly following your heart and what that's communicating with you? But yeah, what this is saying is that if you're going to truly honor the way that you feel, you're going to have to confront these attachments. You're going to have to confront the like false narratives and illusions, the Maya that would keep you in a situation that is not right for you to be in anymore, and you'll feel that within your soul. So it's really about that. It's about having to face the things that we don't like to have to face, because it's like our wounding and our trauma and our attachments and like the ways that we conceal things and push things down and avoid things and run away from things. But it feels like in you being really connected with yourself right now, it's bringing you into a necessary confrontation with this energy. And are you going to confront this, or are you going to be like, no, because as long as I keep this going, it kind of keeps me asleep in a way where I don't have to deal with this stuff? So I think that's really what all of this is coming down to. Like the karmic test here, the challenge is for you to move out of a situation that's not right for you anymore. Having Chariot be connected with Six of Pentacles, I'd say like very much on the emotional front this would have to do with. So it can be something where like you don't feel fulfilled within it, you don't feel consistently connected, like there's something that your heart and your soul can kind of be like aching for or desiring or wanting that is not pertained within this cycle for you. And so it's about like seeing what else is out there and kind of adventuring beyond this. But yeah, then you are gonna have to face this part of you that maybe hasn't been like all the way checked in. I think, you know, like this is really feeling like the devil is giving me a Neptunian type of energy, where if we were to be like totally soberly facing something and addressing it, we would know, like, no contest, this is something that like needs to be addressed, absolutely. But with the devil, it can be anything that we do to avoid being present to that so we don't have to deal with something. So it can be ways that we deceive ourselves, ways that we lie to ourselves, ways that we do things so we're not present to what's going on so we don't have to do something about it, which can take that like strain and stress off of things, because you know the energy of the devil is just this aspect of us that basically like comes into play when we have some belief about not being able to handle something. So the devil will come through and be like, you don't have to address this, like I'll take care of it for you, but you're gonna have to like go to sleep then. So it's that part of you that is just helping you through the lens of your ego, because you can have this feeling of like, I can't handle this for some reason. The thing is that that's not some like universal truth. It's just connected with a belief system that's going to have to be dissected if this is something that you move through. But yeah, overall, it can be something that at this point you have the opportunity to look at and address. But this is also one of those things where that's going to come down to you making a decision here with this. So is this something that you're going to go the rest of the way with and that you're going to deal with? Or is this something where you're like, you know what, it's just asking too much of me and I don't want to deal with this. And even though this isn't really like working best for me, I kind of don't want to have to address this. And so I'm just going to stay within this. But always the thing with the devil is that we'll know that something's off, so that feeling will remain. It won't go away. It can like once in a while we're like not totally present to it, so it's not potentially, it's like the more tuned in you get, the more you'll know something is off and I need to address something. But the more out of it you are, essentially, like the less present you have to be to things being off track here. So yeah, that's really what this is coming down to. All right, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.